Let's see. Share. Share to a group. Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very first Flex Your Influence Coffee Talk with Margaret and Faryn. We are prepared with our conversation and our coffee. And I am drinking some very sophisticated coffee. Like, this is like the most sophisticated of sophisticated. It is Folgers Instant from my trip to Thailand. We're rationing our coffee here at my house right now, but it's
as am I. I'm drinking Chick-fil-A iced coffee.
Awesome. Is it good?
Delicious.
Yes.
It's a mix of cold brew and regular coffee with some kind of magical sweetener in here.
Amazing. Okay, good. Good to know. Pro tip too, if you're in a pinch, McDonald's has amazing coffee.
Yes.
So, all righty. We are here. Everybody get your coffee, your favorite tea, your drink, always with my water. And today I'm really excited to actually introduce Faryn to you. So a lot of you may know her and recognize her, especially if you are already a member of our Flex Your Influence community. She is one of our trusted advisors. She gives some amazing weekly tips and just has been such a breath of fresh air to Socialize LA. And to me, it's been an honor to have her. But I have never really officially introduced her on our Socialize LA page. So meet Faryn. Hi, Faryn.
Hi, thank you.
So Faryn has an amazing career in marketing and advertising, and we will be adding her bio to the website, and you can see an amazing resume. She became a marketing consultant over the last couple of years, so it's been really nice to be able to add her to our programming. And so I also just want to say that Faryn was one of the first people in the world to know that I was going to start my company back in 2008-ish. And the reason why she knew is because we were roommates in beautiful New York City. And one day I came home from work and I said, I'm going to start my own company.
Why not?
Why not? So that started a brand new journey, and we were just, in our mid-20s, enjoying life and just working on our careers, and that was that. I also have a surprise for Faryn. So about 2 years later, I was back living in Southern California, where her and I are from. And this was 2 years into starting my business. And if anybody can relate to this, starting your business can be a little slow. There could be some depression can set in. And those are the things that I never shared with friends, because I would never want them to worry about me, worry about how I was paying my bills, how I was, what I was doing with my life. And so I kind of am the type of person who will keep those things to myself. But friends know you, friends care, friends are thinking about you. And so in late April of 2010, I have the postage to prove it. I get a message from Faryn, and it's a Marie Claire work-life article, and it says, Success Secrets of 30-something Moguls. And I remember getting this like it was yesterday. She had no idea, and I needed this. It was just like there were stories in here shared. There were secrets shared about how you overcome obstacles and just all these amazing things. And it was Then she sent this post-it. It's your writing.
What did it say? I don't even
It
remember.
says, thought you should see this, even though I still hate Ann Roma.
Working title.
Working title. So the first name of my company was Ann Roma, and I still have that legally. And the reason why she said she hated it, it wasn't because she didn't support me. It was because back when we did live together, when I first started the company, my focus changed, and all I cared about was working on my website and building my company.
Not to mention a tiny detail of leaving me in New York.
Oh, yes.
That was the main reason I was upset.
Right. Oh my gosh. And I don't even think about that, because to me, I had to leave New York, because to start a company and to go full time, New York was just way too expensive for me. So I wanted to move home and cut living expenses.
Yep. She moved to the big
So, yeah. So I guess that little tiny detail. But anyway, I still hold on to this. Whenever I'm cleaning out my stuff, I think, does this bring me joy? Yes, it does.
Passes the KonMari test.
It does.
Love it. That's so awesome.
I know. Isn't that so cool? And then little did we know that a decade later that we'd be able to work together. And we are wildly excited about the possibilities.
Cheers.
Cheers. Faryn has the new and improved mug. Mine is the old school, so I do need to also get one of these brand new ones.
I love a nice tall mug.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. Yeah, this one's big too. I need that. So anyway, I should also tell you that I might have known Faryn even before New York. And I was looking for a photo, and I could not find one of just the two of us. But Faryn and I have known each other for over 25 years, as we met as freshmen in high school. So
I'm scared about what picture you're going to show.
Well, I found a group one of us, doing like a cheer pose in the quad. So our senior year. But I didn't want to do that to everybody else who was in the picture without their consent. But we are so excited to work together, and we have so many. I mean, we have a lot of similarities. We love a lot of the same things. But two things that really bring us together when it comes to Socialize LA, all joking aside, is we have a passion for marketing. We both come at it in two completely different ways. I have a small business background, working with a lot of small business, construction, and Faryn brings this corporate eye and this sophistication that I actually never had the opportunity to have, because I started my business so early. So bringing her in has given us like this powerhouse here at Socialize LA. So did you want to add anything to that, Faryn?
No, I would just say that I completely agree. I think that our styles of marketing really complement each other, as well as just kind of the way that we think and execute. And you have the creative ideas, and I bring some of the organization to the table, and we work really well together, which may be surprising to some of our high school teachers who thought we were just goofing off, but actually we were masterminding our future careers. So
I know, and we actually are friends on Facebook with a couple, so we will definitely be tagging them a little bit later.
All of our teachers, hopefully you're watching.
Hopefully you're watching. One of our high school vice principals told my mom that if I would just use some of my energy for good, I could do a lot of really great things. We loved pranks. Pranks were like the thing. And so, we had a great time in high school. That's all I can say.
We did. And I will add that what you've accomplished with this company over the past 10 plus years, not coming from a formal advertising marketing background, is so inspirational And it's why I've always been a supporter of you, even when, friendship aside, even when I was at my agency days and didn't have the time to contribute.
Mhm.
I would always send clients over your way because I know that you inherently get it. It's not something that you can always teach. It's something that you can feel. And you, Margaret, and your team at Socialize LA, you guys feel it. And that comes through in the work that you do with your clients. And especially right now, and kind of what we're going to be talking about today, how things are changing so quickly. It's that instinct that really sets you apart versus trying to go by some sort of rule book, because there's no playbook for what's going on right now in this world
Yeah.
and in the world of marketing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So that is a great segue into marketing in the time of COVID. And I know, Faryn, you really laid this out as one of our speakers of the Living Room Business Summit. So I'd love to just give you some space to just give us your thoughts.
Sure, absolutely. So, for those of you who did not have the opportunity to attend the Living Room Business Summit, this was an amazing 2-day event that Margaret and her team put together. And I believe it was 3 days of planning and promotion. And we're able to round up this incredible group of inspirational speakers from all different sectors. And the talk that I gave was about the state of marketing. 2 to 3 weeks in to the COVID-19 pandemic, everything's new, but it's become the cliche of referring to as the new normal. So the questions that we've been getting a lot from our clients and from the other companies that I work with through my independent marketing consulting business is, what do we do? How do we react? How can we best serve our customers in this time? And what we talked about at the Living Room Business Summit is that it really all boils down to providing comfort and utility during this time of uncertainty. What can you do to comfort your community, and what can you do to help make their lives just a little bit easier? We
Yes.
saw some companies quickly kind of get that and adapt that and roll that out, and we saw some companies that are having a really hard time with it and are struggling, and we're still seeing that 3, 4, 5 weeks in, depending on when your area started shutting down. So that was kind of the
Yeah.
jumping off point for our conversation about the current
Yeah.
state of marketing.
And there's so many different variables too. So Faryn and I are definitely not here to bash anybody because our opinions are not the end all be all. It's just what we're perceiving and how we're taking all this in. But there's so many variables that each of these companies are dealing with, because I'm looking too at these retailers that have e-commerce and brick and mortar who are still paying their people.
Mm-hmm.
And some are committed to paying them. Some are committed to paying to a certain, they didn't realize it was going to go so long. I mean, so I know we saw some campaigns of a brand that we love that is now doing some marketing around support our stylists. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yes, a fan favorite in my household is Dry Bar.
Ditto.
And a lot of companies have, as Margaret was saying, done this approach of, can you please help support us? We've seen this from the restaurant industry especially. Can you please help support us even if you can't come in? We've started a GoFundMe page, or buy a gift card and use for later. But what Dry Bar did was actually thinking about comfort and utility, putting the message out that there is a way that we can support Dry Bar stylists, but also save money at the same time. They yesterday launched a program where you can purchase blowouts in advance at a significant savings from what you would normally be able to get.
And they don't expire.
They never expire. E-gift cards never expire. So basically 100% of the proceeds of those gift cards are going to go to their employees. And then they're also selling all their products, because everybody needs to learn how to do their hair at home at this point, for better or worse. So the products, 50% of the proceeds from all products sold are also going to go and support their employees, because they don't want to have to lay everybody off and then re-up and retrain their staff and get all their operations. They want to be ready to hit the ground running when quarantine is lifted.
Yeah.
So they're providing that value, making their consumer base feel good about helping, but also saving us money.
Yes.
I went
And we
ahead and
really are in this together because I don't want the brands that I love to fall apart because of this. And so, I mean, that's kind of like a community way to think about this. So I know there are some brands that I have looked at sideways, like, why are you doing that? But again, they are only working with, you know, the team that they have, the the brains that they have. And a lot of people have different feelings, mixed feelings. Like some of us are like, oh, we're going to make it out of this. Like I'm talking about 2008 when I started the company. That was like hardcore recession time. And when I moved back to California, people were like, why are you starting a company right now? Like people are getting laid off. And I, as like you said, inherent, because I didn't know, I had no idea. But in my heart, I knew, well, when this is all over, I'll be ready.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
right. And that's how we should all be right now. I mean, a lot of us are like that, knowing that this is going to pass. We don't know how ugly it's going to be. We don't know how long, but we do know that we're going to have to rebuild. So, coming from a place of fear, I feel like is when the bad decisions are made. What do you think about
Exactly.
that?
When you just feel like you have to say something just to say something, that's a problem. You don't have to say something. There's a lot of noise right now. So, what we've been advising for our clients and our community is wait until you have the right strategy. No one is necessarily sitting, hitting refresh at their computer, waiting to hear from you, even though you
Right.
want to feel that way as a business owner.
Yeah.
Wait until you can actually come up with a strategy where you're providing that comfort and utility that makes sense for your specific business. And it's not just a me too or a follow of the crowd. We have a good friend who has her own chicken soup company called Prescription Chicken, and she's local to the Washington, D.C. area where I live. And she has been able to raise funds to provide her chicken soup to local hospitals and healthcare
Mhm.
officials in the area. And now people are excited about that and want to help contribute to her campaign. So she's accepting donations via Venmo. It's all very just changing up to the minute using technologies that people never thought of or even had a few years
Mhm.
ago to mobilize and give people a way to contribute, but also support a brand that they feel passionately about.
Absolutely. And, you know, from her standpoint, it's like she's helping because we all want to help, but she's also getting her soup in the hands of people that may have never had it before. So it's a win-win. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing selfish about that. It's smart business. And that's kind of where all of us need to be right now. My feeling is
Yep.
that balance of how can I support, how can I contribute, and then how can I keep my business in good, you know, in a good position. So
Exactly.
like here at Socialize LA, we normally at the end of March have a open enrollment for only 1 week to our Flex Your Influence community. But the end of March was like everything was so brand new. Faryn and I talked about it, and it was like, I just don't feel comfortable doing it. And that's when we did the summit instead. The summit was like zero cost for people to attend with the coupon. 90% of the people, 95% of our attendees joined with a 100% discount coupon. So this is not a moneymaker. It was like all a labor of love to just bring hope, and that was that. And then moving on now, you know, we kind of at the end of March, we didn't have a set date yet of when this would be over. And now, you know, a lot of us have stay at home orders until May 15th, I believe. So at least there's some parameter giving us a little bit more of planning. I like to plan, I'm a planner. And so it kind of gives us some dates, but we ended up we're doing more online content. We did our socializela.com/bingo, which is like a free checklist to help you maneuver and, you know, build the ways to convert your online audience. And that's free. We created the 90-day template, which is a very low cost, done for you template. So this is a good time to create those value add. Faryn, you said it earlier, it's about building trust and relationship. And that's what marketing
Yep.
is building trust. And so every brand is different. Like we say here, there's no one size fits all marketing plan. But at the end of the day, marketing should make people know you, like you, and trust you. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. How do you add the value to people's lives in a way that really feels authentic and natural coming from your specific brand and business?
exactly. And we're definitely, I'm sure you have too, on a consumer side and a business side, have seen the both sides of that. Something that's just forced. Oh, we're helping now. We're creating masks. And it just doesn't feel right.
Right.
Giving masks to people who need them is honorable. But if you're just pushing it and it's not the right message, it's kind of odd.
You can sniff it out, and your customers will sniff it out too if it's not authentic.
Yes,
Either they'll
absolutely.
sniff it out and or they'll ignore it. Either way, your efforts have been wasted. So we really encourage everyone to think about how they're going to respond and what kind of value add you can bring to your community from
Mhm.
the unique perspective of your business that only you really have.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are wondering, well, what is that for me? Like, because I know we've given a lot of like high level, like you shouldn't do this, you should do that. And how do you make that your own? Add it in the comments. We'd be happy to take a look and see how we can answer that. We usually answer questions a couple times a month inside of our free Facebook group, and the link is in the show notes. And also our Flex Your Influence community members. For those of you who are watching, if you have questions, of course you can ask these 24/7 in our private Facebook group, and we'll get to you. We want to make sure that you're not retreating. That's been like my word of the last couple of weeks. It's like I've done a lot of webinars with different organizations, and they're like, what should we do? And I said, the last thing you want to do is retreat. But again, we're in a weird time, and this is kind of mentally heavy for people. I know day to day I'm just like, what is going on here? So you've just got to, as business owners, marketers, we just have to really think about the future. Think, when this is through, where do we want to be? We do not want to be retreated. And the other thing I want to say, and I hate being the person to say it, but I have to say it, is if you are now just coming into talking to your online audience, you haven't been consistent, um, brush off your regret and just get after it, and don't let it happen again. Like, don't ever have to come from Revive, because that's a hard place. It's really hard to lift that boat or launch that boat when you haven't been communicating. But you can definitely start and just be consistent. Do the socializela.com/bingo if you don't know where to start. It is a fun checklist style bingo game, and we made it a game, but really it's a checklist of things that you should have in place, and a short video showing you how to do it.
Highly recommend checking out the bingo because Margaret came up with some very specific tactics there that are things that could easily be forgotten, but if they're not, they can make a really big difference.
Yeah, sure. So Faryn, is there any last words that you'd like to leave us with?
I would say that things are changing by the day and that you need to be prepared for that change. And how do we, as planners, be prepared for the change? We have a framework in place, an outline. I think the 90-day done-for-you content template is an absolutely perfect way to start because it's not going to dictate what you're saying, but it's going to make sure that you have a plan, that you have a strategy for what you're saying for the next 3 months. Have that, but then stay nimble and think about on a day-to-day basis what's the most important messaging that you want to communicate and how.
Right.
And don't feel locked into the traditional channels of, well, I always send a weekly email, so I have to send a weekly email this week. No, you don't. If you want to do a blog post instead, do a blog post. Are people coming to your website organically, whereas they used to not? If you're in the goods industry, for example, if you're providing a service such as delivery, or you have a digital product that people are wanting now more than ever, consider spending some of your time on a lightbox or an overlay for your website, so that when people come to your site, the first thing they see is relevant information about what they should know now, what you're offering today. Maybe that's a better use of your time than your weekly email. You just have to prioritize your time. And again, Margaret and I are here, as is the rest of the Socialize LA team. So if you have questions or even need help prioritizing your time or your digital marketing activities, we are happy to help.
Absolutely. And we will be doing some gatherings inside of our free Facebook group. It's called the Modern Marketing Support Group, because we do focus on social media and digital marketing. But we do love traditional marketing when it matters. We like to layer in traditional methods with modern methods. And so that's why we call our Facebook group Modern Marketing Support Group. And I also want to say that if you feel overwhelmed with everything happening, or where you need to be, or what you should be doing as a business, as a marketer, overwhelm will never help you to get to the next level. You have to just say, all right, no, I didn't do this the last 10 years. Didn't do this the last 1 year. Big deal. I'm going to start now. And there's nothing wrong with that. So we here at Socialize LA practice a lot of grace with ourselves and with each other and with our clients. And the best time to start is now.
Margaret says done is better than perfect. And that was a really hard lesson for me to learn as a perfectionist. I'm still working on it, but she's absolutely right, especially today. Sometimes you need to get things done and out, and you don't have, days and days and months like we used to make things perfect.
Exactly. So, okay. So I think that's it. We do want to ask you if you have any future topics you'd like us to cover. Put them in the notes. Send us a message through socializela.com Facebook page. If you have questions about what you're doing in your marketing, you can always book a 20-minute session with me. I will put that in the show notes as well. Faryn, did you want to end with any remarks?
No, I'm excited for Coffee Talk. We're definitely going to be doing more of these. And as Margaret said, we'll be in the Modern Marketing Support Group, as well as always checking in with our private Flex Your Influence community. So look forward to hearing feedback and chatting with you all again soon.
All righty. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Have an awesome Tuesday.